Hey everyone, it is Mona here at Craft Klatch, and today is Friday. That means it's another Coaster Friday. Today we're going to do a fun food coaster. We're going to do cheeseburgers. The technique is similar to other projects I've done before, but it's just fun to see how many different things you can do with a single technique. For this hamburger coaster, I drew this hamburger a while ago. It's actually like a cheeseburger, but I drew it a while ago to get the size and to just have a template. So I'm going to cut this out and take it out to the garage and trace it onto some wood, and then we'll be off to the races to make some coasters. Burger coasters have been cut out. Now what I'm going to do is kind of do what I did before and trace on here. So now I'm just going to put those lines on here to give me a guide for painting. So we're going to have our lettuce line here, and then lettuce on the bottom. Okay, and then we'll do the cheese, which will meet at a point kind of in the middle if we can get it in the middle. And you can always erase anything that doesn't work out quite the way you want it to. So here's our burger drawn out. I'm going to do the same to this one. And this is just a guide for our painting and staining. We're going to do these two ways. We're going to do one with the unicorn spit, and we're going to do one with just acrylic paints. And then we're going to put resin over both of them. I'm going to do a little bit of mixing. I've got the yellow unicorn spit, and I won't need much at all. And I'm going to then add just a dab of orange, because we want it to look like American cheese. And I'm going to mix it together. So here's my cheese color. And I want a pretty good brush, like a small brush that can get into the little edges. And I'm just going to paint this on here, and it's going to soak into the wood. And if you get some a little bit over the line, don't worry. We're going to outline all this stuff anyway. Now I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water and just move it around a little bit just to give it more of that stained look instead of just like painting it straight on. Now we'll do the lettuce. So I'm going to add a little bit of white, okay, and then just a little bit of the green. So now I'm just adding the lettuce, the green for the lettuce. And if it dries too light, we can go over it with some more green, no problem. I'm going to paint the edges as well. Now let's do the burger. We're going to do the burger next, and I have a little brown and weathered daydream gray that I'm mixing together. And I'm going to just put this right on the burger. And the colors dry lighter, but then they deepen again when we put the resin on, so don't fret if it's not quite the color you're thinking or hoping. The last one then is the bun, and for that we're going to do some white and brown. We might add just a teeny tiny bit of yellow to that. All right, looks pretty good. Doesn't really look that much different than the color of the wood right now. And it probably won't later either. And I'm not worried about doing too thick of a coat on the bun, because if the wood grain shows through, I think I would like that. I am going to add just a little bit of actual acrylic paint with a stir stick and add little sesame seeds on here. They won't be super noticeable, but hopefully noticeable enough. We are going to do this one with just plain acrylic paints, and then we'll cover both with resin and see which one we like better. Or maybe we'll like them both the same. All this guy needs now is sesame seeds, and then it can dry. Now that the hamburgers are dry, I'm just going to outline them with my paint marker. This just gives them definition and gives them a little bit more of a finished look. Burgers are ready, and I want to know which one you think so far looks better. And I want to know now, and I want to know at the end to see if you change your mind. I mean, I have no idea how these are going to turn out, so I'm interested to see. But before we put any resin on it, what we need to do is do the back with some painter's tape. If you saw the shark video, you know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just covering the backs with painter's tape, just like this. And this will keep the back clean so I can put cork on it later. I'm just going to rub this down so it's stuck tight to the back. Then I'll take my craft knife, cut around it. So then you end up with it being just like this. Here's the front. That one's good to go. I've got my hamburgers raised up off of my table, and I have some aluminum foil underneath it just to protect my tabletop, and then I have the backs covered with the painter's tape. So now that that is finished, I can add the resin on top. And I'm just going to pour it on here. And I do want it to get the edges. And this one is the unicorn spit. And you can see the change when you add resin to the unicorn spit. It changes the color. So now all of a sudden you can see the sesame seeds where you couldn't see it before. So I want to move it all to the edges, and I do want it to protect the edges as well. So I do want it to go over, but first I want it to cover the top. So then I'll just take my stir stick and go along the edges as well. Then I'm going to take my lighter, pop the bubbles, and I'm going to let this sit a minimum of 12 hours before I touch it. Here are the hamburger coasters, and they have cured. Now we just have to remove the tape off the back. I'm going to do that by using my craft knife and just cutting along the edge so that it gives me an edge to get under, and then it all peels back really easily. Now that we have them all cleaned up, I'm going to paint the backs, and I'm just going to use a black, and this is just to seal it so that if any water should get on the back, it's not hitting bare wood. Now I have a piece of cork that I have left over from a different project, and I'm going to put it on a little bit differently this time, and I'm going to put it on the back. This has dried, the paint has dried. I'm going to take a little bit of glue and just kind of put it along the edge. That'll give it just a little extra grip. This is sticky already, but hopefully that'll ensure a long grip on the back here. All right, we go like that. So in the past, I always cut it before putting it on, and I thought maybe I would try this way, cutting it after. It cuts pretty easy with the craft knife, so this might be an even easier way to do it. And I'm holding my craft knife at a little bit of an angle, so it's under, hopefully, and we won't have a lot of excess showing, and I can go back and touch it up if I need to. And there's a back. Now we have a cork backing. That glue will dry. It'll be on there forever. And the cork that I'm using is just a shelf liner, a cork shelf liner, and I'll have that linked in the description below. It comes in a roll just like this. Here are the coasters all finished, and here are the cork backings, so it protects your table. Easy to do. They look kind of fun. Let me know which one you like better. This one is the unicorn spit, and this is just the acrylic paint. So these are great for a man cave, for barbecues, if you're a foodie, anything, or if you just happen to be a fan of cheeseburgers. This is perfect. These coasters are fun to make as gifts, and just let your imagination go wild. I hope you guys like the burger coasters, and I hope you give them a try. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it, and I will definitely see you next time. Remember, life is too short not to shimmer, so grab your glue gun and your glitter. Stay safe. Bye, guys.